Welcome to Real English Voices. I am your host, Tom.
And I am Ria. Hello, everyone. It is so good to be back behind the microphone today.
It feels great to be here. You know, Ria, today we are tackling a topic that is honestly a little bit scary for me. It is something I struggle with, you struggle with, and I think every single person listening to this podcast struggles with.
Oh, you are making me nervous already, Tom. What are we talking about?
We are talking about time. Specifically, we are talking about stopping the habit of wasting time. We are talking about procrastination and that feeling that life is just slipping through our fingers while we're busy scrolling on our phones.
Wow, okay, that hits hard. I feel like you are looking directly at me right now. Just this morning, Tom, I swear to you, I picked up my phone just to check the weather. That was the plan. I just wanted to know if I needed an umbrella.
Let me guess, you did not just check the weather.
Not even close. I checked the weather, then I saw a notification from Instagram, then I watched a video about baking bread, then I read an article about cats, and suddenly 20 minutes were gone. Poof, just vanished, and I was still sitting in my pajamas.
Exactly. That is exactly what we need to talk about. It is that invisible thief. We think we have so much time, but the truth is, time is the only resource we can never get back. Once today is gone, Ria, it is gone forever. We can earn more money, we can buy new things, but we cannot buy back yesterday.
That's actually a terrifying thought when you say it like that. But why do we do it? If we know time is precious, why do we waste it so easily? Is it just because we're lazy?
I honestly do not think it's laziness. I think it's often about avoidance. We waste time because the work we need to do feels uncomfortable or difficult or boring. So our brains look for an escape. It's easier to watch a funny video than to study irregular verbs or write that report for work.
That makes sense. It's like a defense mechanism. We're protecting ourselves from stress, but by doing that, we're actually creating more stress for our future selves.
Precisely. We are borrowing happiness from tomorrow to pay for comfort today. But the debt always comes due. And for our listeners who are learning English, this is huge. How many times have you thought, I'll study English tomorrow when I have more energy?
Oh, thousands of times. The legendary tomorrow. Tomorrow is a magical land where we are all productive, we all exercise, we all eat healthy food, and we all speak fluent English. But we never actually live in tomorrow. We only live in today.
That's deep, Ria, but it's true. The only time we have is right now, and wasting it usually looks like waiting for the perfect moment. We think, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's the secret. You're never going to feel ready.
I think that's the biggest trap, the trap of perfection. We waste time planning and overthinking because we're afraid of doing it wrong. I remember when I first started recording podcasts, I wasted months researching the best microphone, the best software, the best topics. I wasn't producing anything. I was just busy being busy.
Busy being busy. I love that phrase. It feels like work, but it's actually just another form of wasting time. Real work requires action. It requires risking failure, and that's scary, so we hide in the safety of distractions.
So, Tom, before we get too deep into the psychology of this, let's take a moment to look at the language we've been using in these first few minutes.
That's a great idea. Let's review the 3 hardest words from this first section.
Okay. The first word is procrastination. That's a big one. It means the action of delaying or postponing something. It's when you know you should do something, but you do it later.
Exactly, like when you put off studying for an exam until the night before. The second word is avoidance. This comes from the verb to avoid. It means the act of keeping away from something or not doing something because it is unpleasant.
Right. And the third word is mechanism. We used it in the phrase defense mechanism. A mechanism is a system of parts working together or a psychological strategy we use to cope with difficult situations.
Those are excellent definitions, Ria.
Thanks. So here's my question for our listeners today. I want you to answer this in your head or even speak it out loud right now. What is the one thing you've been procrastinating on this week? What is the one task you keep pushing to tomorrow?
That's a powerful question. I hope you guys are answering that honestly. Now, let's get back to the conversation. I want to talk about the cost of wasting time. Not just the productivity cost, but the emotional cost.
What do you mean by emotional cost?
Well, think about how you feel after you spend 2 hours scrolling on social media when you should have been working. Do you feel rested? Do you feel happy?
No, definitely not. I usually feel guilty, I feel heavy, my brain feels foggy, and I have this low-level anxiety because I know I still have to do the work, but now I have less time to do it.
Exactly. Wasting time does not actually make us feel good. It is a low-quality pleasure. Compare that to the feeling of finishing a task. When you actually sit down, focus for an hour, and finish an English lesson or complete a project, how does that feel?
Oh, that feels amazing. It's a rush. I feel capable. I feel proud of myself. I can relax completely because I do not have that heavy weight hanging over my shoulders.
So, if we know that working feels better than wasting time, why is the resistance so strong? I think it comes down to friction, the friction of starting.
The friction of starting. Can you explain that a bit more?
Imagine a heavy car that is stopped. Pushing it to get it moving is incredibly hard. You have to use all your strength just to get the wheels to turn 1 inch. That is the start of a task. But once the car is rolling, keeping it moving is much easier.
I see. So the hardest part of studying English or going to the gym or cleaning the house is just the first 2 minutes?
Yes, Newton's first law of motion applies to people too. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. If you're sitting on the couch, your body wants to stay on the couch. It takes a massive burst of energy to break that state.
So, how do we trick our brains? How do we overcome that friction? Because telling myself, just do it, usually does not work.
I use something called the 2-minute rule. It's very famous in productivity circles. If you have a task that seems huge and scary, you tell yourself, I will just do this for 2 minutes. That's it.
Just 2 minutes? But you can't learn English in 2 minutes.
No, you cannot. But the goal isn't to finish the task. The goal is to start the task. If you tell yourself, I have to study grammar for an hour, your brain says, no way, that's too hard, let's watch TV. But if you say, I will just open my textbook and read 1 page for 2 minutes, your brain says, okay, I can do that. That's easy.
And I guess once you've opened the book and read for 2 minutes, you usually just keep going.
Exactly, because you've broken the friction. You are now in motion. You have tricked your brain into starting. I do this with exercise. I tell myself I don't have to work out. I just have to put on my running shoes and step outside the door. If I want to come back inside after that, I can.
And you ever come back inside?
Never. Once the shoes are on and I'm outside, I always run. The hardest part was just the shoes.
That is such a good tip. I think I'm going to try that with my laundry today. I hate folding clothes. I'll just tell myself, fold 2 socks, Rhea, just 2 socks.
There you go. It sounds silly, but it works. Another major way we waste time is by being distracted by our environment. We try to work, but our phone is right there, buzzing and lighting up.
Oh, the phone is the enemy. It's designed to waste our time. The apps are engineered by the smartest people in the world to keep us looking at the screen. We're fighting a losing battle if we rely on willpower alone.
You are absolutely right. Willpower is a battery. It runs out. If you have to constantly resist checking your phone, you're draining your battery. The better solution is to remove the temptation entirely. When I need to write scripts for this podcast, I put my phone in another room.
In another room? That sounds drastic.
It's necessary. If it's on my desk, even if it's face down, part of my brain is thinking about it. Is anyone texting me? Did I get an email? If it's in the other room, I'm free. I can enter a state of deep work.
Deep work. That's a concept I've heard about. It's when you're completely focused on one thing, right?
Yes, it's a state of distraction-free concentration. And let me tell you, 1 hour of deep work is worth 4 hours of distracted work. If you study English for 30 minutes with zero phone and zero distractions, you'll learn more than if you study for 2 hours while texting your friends and watching TV.
That's the quality over quantity argument. We think we're being productive because we spent 3 hours sitting at our desk, but if we were checking Instagram every 10 minutes, we probably only did 40 minutes of real work.
And we wasted a lot of mental energy switching tasks. Every time you switch from your book to your phone and back to your book, your brain has to refocus. It is called context switching, and it kills your intelligence. You literally drop IQ points when you multitask.
Wow, so multitasking is a myth.
It is a total lie. You cannot do two things at once. You're just switching back and forth very quickly and doing both things poorly.
Okay, that is a wake-up call. I am definitely guilty of trying to listen to a podcast, answer emails, and cook dinner at the same time. And usually I burn the dinner.
See, there's the proof. Focus on one thing, finish it, then move to the next. You'll actually have more free time at the end of the day because you were efficient.
You know, Tom, this is all really helpful, but I think there's another layer to this. Sometimes we waste time because we do not have a clear reason to work. If I do not know why I'm learning English, it's really hard to get off the couch.
That is a brilliant point, Ria. Motivation requires a clear destination. If you don't have a goal, you're just drifting.
Before we talk about goals, though, let's take another quick pause. We have covered some really interesting vocabulary in this second section.
We sure have. Let's look at the 3 hardest words from the last few minutes.
Okay, the first word is friction. In physics, it is the resistance that one surface or object encounters when moving over another. But here, we used it metaphorically to mean the psychological difficulty of starting a task.
Great explanation. The second word is willpower. This is the control exerted to do something or restrain impulses. It's your self-discipline muscle.
And the third word is context switching. This is a term often used in computing, but for humans, it means jumping between different tasks, which reduces efficiency and focus.
Perfect. So, Ria, what is the question for this section?
My question is about that 2-minute rule. I want our listeners to think, what is one small, tiny action you can take today that takes less than 2 minutes, but will start a positive chain reaction in your day? Maybe it's opening a book or putting on your gym shoes.
I love that. Just 2 minutes. That's all we're asking. Okay, let's get back to what you were saying about goals and drifting.
Right. I was saying that if you do not have a strong why, you will always find an excuse to waste time. If you're learning English just because someone told you to, you'll procrastinate. But if you're learning English because you want to get a better job to support your family, or because you dream of traveling to London, that emotion drives you.
Emotion is the fuel, logic is the steering wheel, but emotion is the gas pedal. You need to connect your daily tasks to a bigger vision. Why does this matter? When I sit down to write, I remind myself that thousands of people might listen to this and get inspired. That makes it important. That makes me want to stop wasting time.
So we need to visualize the result. We need to fall in love with the end goal.
Yes, but be careful. Don't just daydream. There's a difference between visualization and fantasy. Sometimes people spend so much time making vision boards and dreaming about success that they forget to actually do the work.
Oh, I've done that. I've spent hours planning my perfect workout schedule, color-coding my calendar, buying the best water bottle, and then I didn't go to the gym.
That's what we call productive procrastination. It feels like work, but it isn't. Planning is good, but doing is better. You don't need a perfect plan. You need an imperfect start.
An imperfect start. I like that. It takes the pressure off. You can stumble, you can make mistakes, but at least you're moving.
Exactly. You can steer a moving ship, but you cannot steer a ship that's sitting in the harbor. Just get moving. Even if you're moving in the slightly wrong direction, you can correct your course along the way. But if you're standing still, wasting time, you're going nowhere.
Tom, I want to talk about the concept of free time because we're saying stop wasting time, but does that mean we have to be working 24 hours a day? Are we allowed to relax?
I'm so glad you asked that. This is crucial. Stopping wasting time does not mean working all the time. In fact, resting is productive. You need rest to recharge. But there's a huge difference between rest and wasting time.
Okay, what is the difference? Because lying on the sofa and scrolling Instagram feels like rest to me.
Does it, or does it just numb you? Real rest is restorative. It gives you energy back. Sleep, reading a book, going for a walk in nature, talking with friends, meditation, these things fill your battery. Mindless scrolling, watching TV shows you don't even like, or worrying, these things drain your battery.
That is a really important distinction. Intentional rest versus unintentional wasting. So if I decide I am going to watch a movie tonight because I love this director and I want to relax, that is okay?
Absolutely. That is intentional. You are choosing to enjoy your time. But if you sit down to check your email and end up watching cat videos for 3 hours by accident, that is wasting time. It's about intention. Are you in control of your time, or is the distraction in control of you?
I think that is the key word, control. We want to be the pilots of our own lives, not just passengers drifting along.
Exactly. Time management is actually life management. How you spend your days is, of course, how you spend your life. If you waste your days, you waste your life. That sounds harsh, but it is the reality.
It is harsh, but we need to hear it. We act like we have forever, but we do not.
There's a Stoic idea called memento mori, remember that you will die. It sounds dark, but it's actually meant to be inspiring. It means don't waste this moment. This moment is a gift. Use it for something good. Use it to learn, to love, to build, to create. Don't throw it away on nonsense.
That is beautiful. It makes the present moment feel so valuable. It makes me want to put down my phone and actually look at the world.
And think about your English journey. Every word you learn, every sentence you practice, opens up the world a little bit more. It connects you to new people and new ideas. That is a worthy use of your time.
It really is. And you know, sometimes we waste time because we're burnt out. We're just exhausted.
Yes, if you are truly exhausted, the most productive thing you can do is sleep. Don't sit in front of your computer staring at the screen doing nothing. That's the worst of both worlds. You aren't working and you aren't resting. Close the laptop, go to sleep. Wake up fresh.
That is giving yourself permission to be human. We are not machines.
We are not, and even machines need to be turned off sometimes to cool down.
Tom, what about the people around us? How do they affect how we use our time?
Huge impact. If your friends are always complaining, wasting time, and gossiping, it is very hard for you to be productive. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
So we need to surround ourselves with people who respect time?
Yes, find people who are learning, who are growing, who have goals. Their energy is contagious. If you see your friends studying English every day, you will want to study too. It becomes the normal standard.
That is why this community, Real English Voices, is so important. We are all here because we want to improve. We are all here supporting each other.
Exactly. You are not alone in this. We are all fighting the same battle against distraction. And every time you choose to listen to this podcast instead of mindless noise, you are winning that battle.
That's a great thought. Just by being here, listening to us, you're using your time wisely. You're investing in yourself.
Before we wrap up this section, let's look at the language again. We had some profound concepts there.
We did. Let's do our vocabulary check.
Okay, what are the 3 hardest words from this last part?
First, we have restorative. This is an adjective describing something that has the ability to restore health, strength, or well-being, like a restorative sleep.
Good one. Second is intentional. This means done on purpose, deliberate, not accidental. Living intentionally means making choices, not just reacting.
And the third one is contagious. Usually we use this for sickness, like a contagious flu, but here we used it positively. Emotions and attitudes can be contagious. They spread from person to person.
Excellent. So, Ria, what is the question for this break?
My question is about your circle. I want you to ask yourself, who is one person in your life who inspires you to use your time well, who makes you want to be better, and maybe you should spend more time with them?
That's great advice. Connect with the people who lift you up.
Tom, as we get closer to the end of this episode, I want to talk about forgiveness.
Forgiveness? How does that fit into time management?
Well, say I wasted the entire morning. I woke up late, I scrolled on my phone, I didn't do any work. It's now 1 p.m. Usually, I beat myself up. I say, oh, Ria, you're terrible, you wasted the day is ruined, and because I feel bad, I waste the rest of the day too.
Ah, the spiral of shame. That is so common. You think, well, I already broke my diet with a cookie, so I might as well eat the whole pizza.
Exactly. I already wasted the morning, so I might as well waste the afternoon. How do we stop that?
You have to forgive yourself immediately. Okay, you wasted the morning. It happened. You cannot change it. But the afternoon is a fresh start. You can reboot your day at any time. You don't have to wait for tomorrow morning. You can start your day at 1 p.m.
Reboot at 1 p.m. I like that. So instead of spiraling, we just draw a line and say, the past is gone. Starting now, I am productive.
Yes, be kind to yourself. Shame is a terrible fuel for work. It burns dirty. Self-compassion is much better. Say, okay, I messed up, I'm human, but now I'm going to focus for the next hour.
It is about resilience, getting back on the horse after you fall off.
Precisely. Success isn't about never falling down. It's about how quickly you get back up. Everyone wastes time, Ria, even the most successful people in the world. The difference is they catch themselves quicker. They notice it, they stop, and they get back to work.
That makes me feel a lot better. I am not a failure because I watched a cat video. I just need to catch myself and close the app.
Exactly. You are building the skill of focus. It's like a muscle. At first, your focus muscle is weak. You can only lift heavy weights for a few minutes. But if you keep training, keep bringing your attention back to your work, your focus muscle gets stronger. Soon, you can focus for hours.
So it is a practice. We're practicing focus.
Yes, and English is the perfect gym for this practice. It requires attention, it requires listening, it requires thinking. If you can build the discipline to learn English, you can apply that discipline to anything in your life.
That is so true. Learning a language teaches you patience, consistency, and how to deal with failure. It is the ultimate self-improvement tool.
I truly believe that. If you can master a second language, you can master your life.
Tom, we have covered so much ground today. We talked about why we procrastinate, that it's about emotion, not laziness.
We discussed the 2-minute rule to overcome friction.
We discussed removing distractions, putting the phone in the other room, and the myth of multitasking.
We talked about having a clear why and using emotion to drive us, and the difference between intentional rest and mindless wasting.
And finally, forgiving ourselves when we slip up and starting fresh right now. It feels like we have a toolkit now. We're not helpless. We have strategies.
That's the goal. We want you to leave this podcast not just feeling motivated, but equipped. You have the tools. Now you have to use them.
But before we say goodbye, we have one last vocabulary check, right?
We certainly do. Let's look at the final 3 tough words.
Okay, first is resilience. This is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. It's bouncing back.
A beautiful word. The second is compassion, specifically self-compassion. This is showing kindness and understanding to yourself when you fail, rather than judging yourself harshly.
And the last word is equipped. To be equipped means to be supplied with the necessary items or skills for a particular purpose. You are ready.
So, Ria, what is your final question for our listeners today?
My final question is a challenge. As soon as this podcast finishes, I want you to ask yourself, what is the very next thing I need to do? Not the whole project, just the next step. And then do it immediately. Don't wait.
That is the perfect challenge. Close the gap between thinking and doing.
Tom, this has been such an inspiring conversation. I actually feel ready to go tackle my to-do list now.
Me too, Ria. I'm going to go finish that project I've been avoiding all week.
Thank you so much to everyone for listening to Real English Voices. We really appreciate your time, and we hope we didn't waste it.
We hope this was an investment. Remember, your time is your life. Treat it with respect. Keep learning, keep growing, and speak with confidence.
See you in the next episode.
Bye for now.